Welcome to the NBA here on 2K Sports. Wednesday in the NBA. It'll be Blake Griffin and the Los Angeles Clippers facing off against the Washington Wizards. And now to bring you all the action, let's get to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. I'll see you again at halftime.
And some friendly banter before the game. The players catching up with each other prior to tip-off. 2K Sports checks in with our loyal viewers of the broadcast from Washington, the home of the Wizards, Verizon Center. Bringing you the NBA here on 2K Sports with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. This is Kevin Harlan. Welcome, everyone. Here are the five for the Clippers. Griffin and Kaman are up front. Mo Williams and Eric Gordon pair up in the backcourt. And it's Gomes in at the three. And for the Wizards, Lodge and McGee up front. John Wall and Nick Young are the backcourt, and it's Lewis in at the small forward position.
And the Wizards are in full rebuilding mode now, and they did draft John Wall, the point guard of the future, and I think unloading Gilbert Arenas' contract last season was important too for future cap purposes.
And so off the tip, it's Washington's ball. Blatch kicks to Wall. Kaman against Blatch. Lewis outside. The three. It's Mo Williams with the rebound. And getting back to that trade, Rashard Lewis might not be a difference maker, but really it was about getting Gilbert Arenas' contract, Clark, cleared.
Yeah, you've got to look at trades from multiple dimensions because it's not always about just the players or the draft picks. A lot of times there is an economic or salary cap ingredient to it. So I think you're right. It was probably more about the Arenas contract. And I think that's a nice move. Again, it's one of the pieces you have to put in place to have a chance to build going forward.
But that's really a nice point about, being in a front office like you are in the NBA. You do have a completely different perspective of what a trade can mean, not just the players involved, but all the ramifications.
Exactly. You've got to look at all the dimensions of it.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Rashard Lewis picks one up.
Heads-up play, preventing the easy lay-in.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, he saw it was a free layup, didn't want to give that up, so he fouled him to force free throws.
Well, the Clippers made so much improvement last year, but one area they struggled, they only went 13-17 against the weaker Eastern Conference. So that's a number they'd like to improve upon this year.
The first one falls. We talk about those Eastern Conference teams and making those road trips to the West. Even the Clippers were not an easy opponent to play for them, Clark.
No, not at all. I mean, the Clippers might have been a Cinderella playoff team if they were in the East. I mean, with that 23-18 home record. And the West has so much talent. From top to bottom, it's on display every night.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Kevin, I briefly spoke with Flip Saunders. It was their interior defense that he thought would be a key factor. He said, my guys have the length and the instincts to block more than their fair of shots if the ball comes inside against us. It's got to be nice for your coach to have that kind of faith in you guys.
Great stuff, Doris. Thanks. That's a mantra, Clark, we're going to hear, I think, a lot from coaches. Defense first.
Yeah, you hear it all the time, Kevin, and that's the identity they want to have today, and I think it'll work for them as long as they execute it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one thing to say it, but you got to bring it. And I think this team has to show great energy and aggression early on if they're going to win this game.
Going back to last year, it was not a great one for Rashard Lewis. I mean, he saw himself get traded from a perennial playoff team in Orlando to very much a rebuilding situation in Washington with the Wizards.
Now here's Williams, following the miss by John Wall. Here's Gordon. A three-pointer off the mark. Clippers on D. Back to Lewis. Clark, he's still making the money, and at the end of the day, that's what he was cashing. So overall, yeah, you're right. A bad season for him shooting and Steve scoring-wise, too.
Well, he's always going to be dogged by that big contract because the expectations will be unrealistic. But the good news for Lewis, when he did get traded to Washington, his shooting picked up, his production was better, and still a solid player.
And here's Wall after Eric Gordon hit the three. From the wing, and again, John Wall. Wall's got his second bucket of the game to go. Clippers leading by 3. Came in a screen on Lewis. Here is Gomes, covered by Wall. Gordon, the pass to Williams. Tries to save it. Offline with his three. Pushing it up. Young dishes to McGee. And he floats in for the easy two. Credit the assist on that one.
Beautiful pass there.
Vinny Del Negro didn't have an easy go of it leading the way for the Clippers in his first year coaching that team, but he was able to get them to up their win total, and that's something to build off of.
Now here's Williams. He has 5. Clock at 6. Kaman. It's hauled in by Andre Blatch.
That's a good shot. High percentage.
Can't complain about that one.
Well, getting back to Del Negro, Clark, I mean, this is a team that has a lot of young talent. We've got Blake Griffin to build around, but it's had a losing culture for so long. So this is a tough job. I mean, he's got to really change their style, get them to buy into playing defense and playing together, and try to build some momentum with a franchise that really never has had any.
E.G. and Lee, and he's checked in for the Wizards. Jordan Crawford comes in for John Wall. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for the Clippers. Aminu comes in for Ryan Gomes. Nice job at the line, and that one falls to pick up the and one.
Well, you look at this Clippers team in the bottom 3 in the Western Conference last season, but they've got a lot of young talent. Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Eric Gordon. This is a team that's only going to get better. They sure seem to be headed in the right direction.
Williams kicks to Gordon. And again, it's the Clippers missing.
You know, when he has the ball outside like that, that's exactly the kind of D they need to play on.
Outside Lewis, the shot is off. Now the Clippers take it the other way. You know, Steve, speaking about the upside of the Clippers, you know, it's interesting, Clark. Where would you rank this front court from an athleticism standpoint? That might be kind of easy.
Yeah, it would be. I'd go right to the top of the list. How about number 1? I mean, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. I mean, big, strong, and extremely explosive. Especially Blake. I mean, he is so strong and explosive. If they continue to develop their skills, I think you're looking at a great anchor for this team's success going forward.
One of the sweetest moves in the game, the reverse layup in traffic.
Now Crawford. Outside Lewis. That's good. Lewis has got his 3rd basket of the night right there. Here's Williams. Can't get it to go. And a high-scoring first quarter. Both teams really filling it up. Wizards lead by 3.
So difficult to get a shot off against this defense. They are really playing hard.
Yeah, they're playing hard, and they pride themselves on making it tough for their opponents.
And it's more NBA action coming your way here on 2K Sports. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. Here's Bledsoe. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. Setting the floor for the Clippers. Al-Farouq Aminu and Blake Griffin at the forward sides. Foyle is out there at Bledsoe. And it's Jordan in at the 5. McGee is screen. He's against Jordan. Shot clock at 6. From past the arc. It's hauled in by DeAndre Jordan. Here's Los Angeles now. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Kevin. Well, the Clippers traded away their first-round pick last season to the Cavs. At the time, because the draft was not supposed to be that great, they didn't think too highly of it, saying they didn't see anyone they particularly thought of that high in the draft. But it ended up being the #1 overall selection. We'll see how that pick pans out over the next several years, guys.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris.
You know, it certainly isn't paying off in the short term.
Well, obviously, you know, after the fact, you say, well, they should have kept the pick. They'd either have Derek Williams or Kyrie Irving right now. But it's too late now, and at the time they were just trying to save money, and they felt like they had their positions covered.
Well, another uncontested three there. They've got to make some kind of an adjustment. I mean, they're giving up way too many open threes.
Well, the last 5 hoops, 3 have come off wide open three-pointers, Clark. So it's one thing to give up one, but you start giving three-pointers up in bunches, you're in big trouble.
Here's Butch. Clippers able to drain the three. Goes up. No good. Great D that time from Griffin.
You know, even with the infusion of a top guard, a point guard like John Wall, the Wizards still struggle to get easy scores. You think a team with their talent would rack up more assists, but they did a lot of one-on-one action there, Kevin. Boy, what a significant turnaround here in the second quarter after only making 40% from the field in the first.
And here's Wall. Eric Bledsoe covering. Now, here is Young. Aminu grabs the miss. Aminu's got 3 rebounds now in this one. More on that fact about Washington, Clark. A lot of the lack of assists comes from the team having a poor field goal percentage.
Yeah, you got to make shots to get assists, partner.
Well, Steve, that's got to improve.
Yeah, it's got to improve. I think a lot of it is that they're a young team. They've got a lot of players who are talented but may not have a great feel for the game and for how to maybe make the game easier for each other. It's one of the reasons you saw that poor field goal percentage last year. Solid advantage in the rebounding totals for them so far here.
You know, in every game, but particularly in a close game, every little advantage you can use helps, and they're certainly enjoying one on the glass here.
And here's Young from the arc, and it's good. Young's got 5.
You know, guys, he's always looking for that open three. I mean, that's his strength, and sometimes the best time to get the three is in transition.
Griffin passes to Aminu. Wall with the steal.
Turned it over there, but they built this lead by making the most of their possessions and keeping their turnovers really low.
Count the bucket.
Well, that's the problem. You turn the ball over, and your defense just isn't set up at the other end.
And sometimes when it happens that way, it almost feels like a 4-point bucket. Boy, you look at Blake Griffin's background, really interesting. Coached by his dad in high school, played with his brother Taylor in high school and college, actually was part of a couple of high school championship teams. Shot seems to be a little awry today, just off a fraction. They've got to have him pick it up, though, and soon.
That's good. And it's a 6-point Clipper lead.
Pretty pass there, right where he needed to put it.
And for Blake Griffin, he decided to follow his brother Clark to the University of Oklahoma in Norman for college, and Griffin stayed there a couple of years. Steve, he was the college player of the year after his sophomore season.
You can see, Blake Griffin just flat out a winner. He brings so much to the table in terms of his game, his athleticism, but also his poise and his leadership. And so the Clippers are extremely fortunate to be able to build their franchise around him. And a chance to go for the 2-for-1.
Well, we'll see if they can do that.
Young from outside, and that comes off the assist by John Wall. Young's got 8 points. Clippers leading by 3. Wall with the steal. Throws it up high.
Wow! I tell you what, I bet that's the best assist we're going to see tonight.
Well, he laid it up there, Steve, a pass where only his teammate could get it.
Perfect timing. That's what you need to make that kind of a connection. Looks like they're going to hold on to the ball and go for the last shot of the quarter.
Well, clearly this is the time to do it.
Bledsoe for 3, and no good trying to get that one. The Clippers on top, leading by a point.
Thanks for joining us for HP at the Half with a terrific game going on at Verizon Center. The Clippers battling hard in this one. Phenomenal work on the defensive glass. They're boxing out. They're hauling it in every time. There's been some great work by Randy Foye in this one. His shooting percentage hovering right around 50%. It's awfully good, heads and tails. On the other side, the Wizards looking pretty solid as well. They've been a terror in transition, dicing up the D on the open court. A valuable contribution so far by Nick Young. He's got 10 points and has set his teammates up with a few timely assists. These two have set the benchmark so far tonight, leading their teams in first half scoring. And now back to the game in our nation's capital. So glad to have you with us.